Okay, so let's talk about Airbnbs. Had a request for more information about how Airbnb works, some of the problems we might have had with it, what we like about it. So first I'll kind of go over the different places that we've stayed in. Now we're in currently our fifth Airbnb apartment. The first one was in Panama City. The location was pretty good. It was a couple blocks off of Avenida Balboa. The apartment itself was just okay. We didn't pay a huge amount of money per night for it. Again, the location was good. The problems that we had with it, and really one of the problems that you have in doing Airbnb is you look at pictures and you rent a place, but you really need to visualize how you're going to live in the space. The problem with that place was no place to sit down when you're going to sit down for the evening and relax, whether it's watching TV or having a glass of wine or whatever. There was really one little love seat to sit in, and it was tucked back in the back corner off the kitchen. And the TV was located at the foot of the bed. So we spent our evenings sitting on the bed watching TV, which is okay if you're in a hotel for a night, but when you're in a place for 10 days, it becomes a bit of a problem. So next we went to Cartagena, and we stayed at an area called El Liguito, which is a place of high-rise apartments, heavy traffic, and loud. There was no insulation windows, single pane sliding glass door that didn't even seal. Cars honking their horns, buses honking their horns, music playing until all hours of the night. The other issue that we had in the place, when we got there, the showers were electric. The shower heads themselves actually heated the water. But there were two showers in the apartment and neither of those worked. There was no internet. And in fact, we didn't have internet for, four or 5 days. There's a local management company that was supposed to be taking care of us, and they did a really poor job. They were not very attentive to our needs. They didn't respond. So I ended up reaching out to the owner, who really did her best to make the best of a difficult situation. Now, in hotels, you can have problems. You can have dirty rooms and all that sort of stuff. But what it really comes down to is what does the owner do? What kind of effort is the owner putting in? And in this case, she did everything that she possibly could to get things fixed. Up to and including offering to pay herself for us to move into a different apartment until everything else was resolved. We opted not to do that, but she reached out to a friend of hers who had another apartment and made that offer to us, which was greatly appreciated. So that place, it wasn't the best of experiences, but the apartment itself, the bed was good. It had a washing machine in it, it had a stove, and for the price that we paid, it was a pretty good value. Quality of the service was outstanding. Jennifer, who was our host, did a wonderful job for us. We got to the place, and first day we found that the coffee pot was too big for the coffee maker. And next morning we had a brand new coffee maker and coffee pot. Little thing, but there was a problem and she took care of it. So Medellin was a really good experience. Weather was perfect. The apartment was very good. It was comfortable to sit in, reasonable bed. All things were good. Now, when we came to Buenos Aires, we had a logistical problem in that we couldn't get into the place that we had rented until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were going to arrive at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we ended up renting this little studio apartment from a guy named Hugo. And Hugo, we rented 2 days, and Hugo was charging $25 a night. When we got there, the apartment was really nice. The bed was comfortable. All we wanted to do was sleep for a few hours. The bed was very comfortable. It had everything in there that we needed, including a little patio to go sit on if we wanted to. And when we arrived, he greeted us at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is well earlier than normal check-in time. And he also had some food waiting for us because he knew we'd had a long trip flying overnight from Medellin through Panama City down to Buenos Aires. And he was a superior host, and it cost us $50. It was really incredible. So now we've been in Buenos Aires for 4 or 5 days. The apartment that we're in is very nice. Once a week we have housekeeping come in, wash our sheets, clean our floors, clean the bathrooms out, give us fresh towels. It's a very nice apartment. Apparently the company owns the entire building, and they've got 35 AirBnB use apartments here. The price we're paying is, gosh, I think we're only paying like $70 a night. And when we compared that, and this is true of all the cities, you compare it up against a similarly priced hotel, and it's like half the price. And Diego, who is our host here, has been incredibly helpful. Diego's going to let us use his printer and print out those documents, which is very helpful. And I think what we've got here is a very good value. Places to sit, refrigerator, stove. The only inconvenience is we actually have to use a laundry room rather than having a washer or a washer and a dryer in the apartment. But it's very clean, it's very nice, and it's an incredible value. So what have I learned from Airbnb, doing the Airbnb experience? One, as I said earlier, take a critical look at how you're going to live in a space and the things that you need. Places to sit, refrigerator, how close is it to restaurants and especially grocery stores, because you're kind of living like it's your home. So you're cooking some meals there, and you're spending time in the space. We made that mistake in Panama City, and it was a rather uncomfortable experience. The other issue is you want to rent from hosts that have achieved a superhost status, which speaks to, the quality of the service that they provide, the quality of the apartment that you're renting, and their history of treating their customers well. We've had hosts that were not superhosts in Panama City, and the rest of them have all been superhosts, and there's a noticeable difference in their responsiveness, and just the overall quality of the experience. So we've only been in 5. Do we think it's a good idea? Yeah, I really do. It affords us extra money that we would otherwise spend on a hotel room to go out and have nice dinners or do some experiences in a city. We're going to Mendoza in a few days, and We'll be doing some wine tours. We'll be doing a wine tour, and then I think we also have a food experience scheduled. So for those of you that have never done Airbnb, frankly, I highly recommend it. I think it's superior to a hotel experience because you're living, at least we have, lived in areas where the locals live. You're going to their grocery stores, you're going to the restaurants that they go to. You're in the area where people live. And for us, that was one of our main goals. To see how people live, see what it's like living in other countries and other cities. So, yeah, I say thumbs up to Airbnb. The system itself is outstanding. Communicating with the hosts, they have an internal chat system or messaging system that ties to each host, so you have a thread of your entire communication. They've, with the exception of one, been incredibly responsive and modifying, if you need to modify a reservation, which we've had to do twice, that can all be handled within the system. The hosts have been very accommodating when we had to cancel a day, which we've had to do twice, and it's been no issue, and the quality of service that we get, even in spite of that, has been wonderful. So if you get a chance, if you're traveling outside of the country, I highly recommend giving Airbnb a chance. It's a great system, and our trip wouldn't really be able to happen the way we're doing it without it. So there you go.